Hi guys, it's Athena. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to just sit down and kind of have like a little bit of like a venting time, just like talk to the camera since I don't really have any friends in real life to talk to. That's kind of why a large part of YouTube is, to try and like connect with people and be able to vent my thoughts and stuff. Because in real life, I have a lot of acquaintances, but I don't have someone I can like just text and let them know, like, especially girlfriends. Like, I don't have any girls that I am friends with. I just have a lot of acquaintances, and especially online too. Like, basically all of my friends are online, and I don't have a problem like being like cordial and like friendly with people because I'm friends with people in class and stuff, but it just is like in terms of like having like a best friend or like a sidekick and like having someone to go do things with. I definitely don't have that right now at this moment, and that's really hard. And I feel like everybody needs a system of people and like a group to kind of like just talk about stuff, and like you don't always agree with your parents perspective or like family, and it's nice sometimes to just have like an unbiased opinion, or just have someone there with you to talk about things and go through things together. And so that's just kind of a struggle. Like, I just kind of like stuff just like festers and sits inside of me, and I don't really get to let it out. And I talk to my grandmom a lot. She's like my best friend. And I talk to my mom when we can. But it's definitely like that's not just like enough for I think a human being's interaction. I think that there has to be a lot more like interaction. And then it's interesting because like I try and like put myself out there, and then especially in like the romantic situation, like update on holding out for Mr. Right. I mean, I've had a couple experiences now since that video that were fine, but like it just doesn't work out, and then it's just really uncomfortable and hard, and not fun. And like I guess a lot of it is the age range that I'm at. Like most 20-year-olds are like figuring themselves out, and I am too. And to just find someone that has like all the right criteria, and you guys click, and the whole thing. And then the hardest part is how long it will last, because it seems like there will be a really good spark, and then it's just kind of like a sparkler where it's like really powerful and really bright, and then it kind of just fades away, and then it's done, and then it's gone. And like it's like love is so transitory, I feel like. And I just always have like a craving and a yearning to like talk to people and like get out there and like have new experiences. But like at the same time, I'm not into like drinking and like smoking weed and stuff. Like that's not my scene. I don't like that. Doesn't relax me or make me feel like relaxed or anything. um and like going to a rave or something would be really fun, but I mean, I wouldn't really want to go alone. I mean, it would be an experience. Like, maybe you could run into people that are really nice there, and then it could be cool. But it's hard. Like, I just feel like, I look around, and like I always want to just tell like my classmates and stuff like what's going on in my life, and like it's a little bit like TMI, and I feel bad. And like, especially the people that I connect with, like I want to tell them like, hey, oh my gosh, can you believe this happens? But sometimes it's okay, and then other times I can tell that like it kind of misses the mark, and doesn't like suit the situation. Or if I try and be like funny in like a classmate kind of environment, like sometimes people aren't like for it, like they don't like that. So it can be a hard dynamic to like figure out. And what was I gonna say? And like I don't know. And then when you have like frustration and like anger, or you feel like sorry for yourself or things like that, it just, if you don't get that release, like I try and find ways to let it out. And it feels like definitely through eating, buying, like shopping, hi Monday, um, things like that. I mean, I try exercise to like cleanse myself, and like I listen to like podcasts and stuff, and I do my art, and that kind of stuff, but it doesn't really feel like that gets out any of the feelings. It just feels like it's still there. It just kind of taps into it a little bit. And like today I have a group presentation for class, and I'm like kind of frustrated with my teammates. But then I also have the other frustration that was already going on before them. So like it's hard to like separate everything and like not take your anger out on people, or like keep everything like, separate, like school and life separate. Um, and like not being like extra hard on people because you're going through something. It's like, and to just like take a step back and be like, okay, I know that I'm dealing with this, so I have to just be wary and conscious of this. And I did start therapy, which was a really positive thing. I started that on the 28th, or not the 28th, 26th, so 2 days ago. And that would be, I think, Tuesday. And that was really great. I really liked the therapist that I had been trying to see. I loved her outfit when I saw her. She had on like 6-inch like turquoise heels and like this really beautiful blue dress and like this really glittery necklace, and I thought she looked like Cleopatra, like and with her hair, because it was like jet black and then it was like kind of cut, and so I felt like I was talking to her, and like, you go through like a little bit about your life story, a little bit where you're at, and the odds and ends of your life and stuff, and like I was like, I don't know if this person's like really listening or not, like I don't know. But then she would say like really insightful things, and like one of the things she said, like when we got done with the session, she was like, I feel like there is something that is missing. Like you talk about support from your family and that your family loves you, and she's like, but where, she's like, I'm not sure how to articulate or if you identify with that, but like there's something that I can't, that's like out of the picture. And I felt like, well, I struggle with like my identity and like really supporting myself. And she was like, that's it, that's exactly what I was, like that's where I was going with that. And you articulated that, and she's like, does that resonate with you? And I was like, it does. I almost sometimes feel like, I mean, I feel like I'm a genuine and authentic version of myself. I don't think that I fake anything. Like when it comes to my personality, I feel like I'm very true to myself and like what I like, and I don't try and just fit this like stereotypical mold at all. Like I very much am myself. But then when it comes to like my identity as a person, like if someone asks me who I am, I just think of all the things that I love, and then I'm like, well, and the people I love, and the characters or the inspirations and the movies and the Barbie and all that kind of stuff, and like that is what I feel like makes up who I am as a person. But I don't really know who Athena is, that like inner soul. I know a lot about myself, but I don't really know who I am. Still like figuring that part out. And then sometimes I worry that the like before I was so into Barbie, I was really into Splash and Daryl Hannah, and Daryl Hannah is like my goddess, everything. She's my idol, and basically like anything that she did or she was in, I'm such a super fan of, and I love her, and I'm like, I wish I could be her. I just think she's great, and I know that everyone's their own person and you have to be original, but I guess when you don't know exactly who you are, you sort of latch on to like characters or people that you resonate with, and then you try to emulate them so that you kind of feel comfortable with your identity. And I definitely feel that way towards Barbie. I feel like I am like highly into that aesthetic, and then a part of me feels like it's not a big deal, and it's not like a costume, and it is me. And then another part of me feels like, why is it that if I didn't have blonde hair, I wouldn't feel comfortable? Because I used to not have blonde hair. I used to have jet black hair. I've had different shades of hair colors. And I've been blonde before, but then now it's like it's such a staple in my life, and it feels like a part of my identity. And I just wonder if that is something that isn't really me and that I'm just sort of going through, and the whole like, I don't know, like if some, like when someone says like, "Oh my gosh, you look like Barbie," I'm like, that's the biggest compliment someone can give me, and like that feels so nice. Or like if people make like Barbie comments, or like dumb blonde things, like it feels very comforting for some reason, because for some reason I resonate with those things. It's not that I want to be a dumb blonde, but I think it's funny and it's cute, and like I like that people archetype me that way, because I'm comfortable with that archetype, like the blonde, the blonde girl like stereotype. I'm very comfortable with, I feel like, in some ways, and then other ways I don't like it. And I don't like dumb myself down at all when it comes to speaking, but like I do like to like make jokes, and like sometimes I think like some jokes are funny, and um, the little like being like ditzy, just in like a funny way, not like actually believing it, but just like kind of throwing, just to see like what people will say or something, or like to get them to laugh. um, in my environmental science class, we were talking about how there was something with like not enough oxygen in the water for the fishes and all the creatures that live in the ocean. And we were talking about like how could we add more oxygen to the ocean, and I was like, we should just like carbonate it like soda, like seltzer water. We just need like a carbonation machine. And it was totally a joke. I just said it, just to be silly. And like my teacher, there was another time, I'm always cracking jokes in that class, and like there's this thing called tar sand, and it's used for like gasoline. If you melt down the tar, and it turns into like a liquid form that has the same properties of gasoline, and it gets mixed with gasoline. And it sounds so much like Tarzan. And my teacher has a little bit of like a little bit of an accent, I feel like. And he said tar sand, but said it really fast. And he was like, "So what does tar sand do?" And I was like, "Oh, he swings from vines in the jungle," and like, stuff like that. I just think it's really funny. And sometimes people laugh. But yeah, it's interesting. And then we were talking about like what are benefits of people who ride bikes instead of driving cars, and he was like, "What's a benefit?" And I was like, "That's just natural selection," like just making like cracking jokes like that. But it's interesting, like I definitely feel like I am myself, and it's not a costume, but at the same time I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be the most idealized version of myself, which is like, fit, blonde, girly girl. And there are parts of me that aren't very feminine. Like I can be a dominant person. I can sometimes be like a type A personality, where I like to be the alpha and like be in charge and like be the head of something. And not always. Sometimes I'm fine with being in the back, but I definitely think that I'm someone who fights for the spotlight and wants like validation and attention, like I don't like negative attention at all, just positive attention. But I definitely try and show like my shine and my glow whenever I can. And let me just take a sip of water really quick. Speaking of shine and glow, this is like a really egotistical comment, but I really love my lipstick today and my lip gloss. And this is the Diamond Glow lip gloss by Nika K, New York. And I got this for like $2.99. It was from like Fashion Island. And it smells exactly like cherry, like the red mixed with pink Starburst. That's exactly what this smells like. And it's so glittery. It's like the perfect, pink gloss, I feel like. I didn't think it was going to be super glittery, but then, let's see, I don't know how to, once I put it on, it was like, can't really see it that well. It's a little dark. The clouds are out, kind of. Or I guess not really, but for some reason the lighting is kind of dark right now in my apartment. It's only a 120, and it seems like there's like a lot of darkness. But yeah, so I forgot where I was going with what I was saying, but I really like this and I recommend this highly. There's this like diamond crush from like Lime Crime that I've always wanted, but it's like $20 and it looks a lot like this. And this seems like a really great dupe for that. It doesn't even pick up on camera and register exactly how glittery and sparkly it is, but it's super, super glitter. It reminds me of like Daryl Hannah in Dancing at the Blue Iguana, where she's a performer, exotic dancer, stripper, and she has like really like overdone like glamorous makeup, which I really like. What I was gonna say is that like the whole thing about being like wanting to be in the spotlight and like wanting attention and stuff is that there's this character named Yvain in this movie called Stardust, and she's a star, and she comes to Earth, and when she's really happy, she glows, and when she's not, she's like dull, and I kind of feel like I can resonate with that, and like I feel like I have such a bright light inside of myself, but that light is also contrasted with so much like a real like Silent Hill darkness and like a real dark side, and like all the amazing light inside of me is also contrasted with a lot of darkness, and I like to project the light as much as possible, but I'm not always in the light, and like I just go through life and like I always want to project that like light, that lightness, but like I always feel like I'm in the darkness of myself and who I am. And it's just, it's hard. Like, and then I feel like, especially today, I feel very like sorry for myself. And I know that that's not a good quality or characteristic to have. But like, there was someone that I messaged on Bumble and he was like, hey, I actually just met someone and I think I'm going to be seeing them exclusively, but I just wanted to respond to you and just, I think that if I didn't, like, he was like, I really liked your profile. I think we would connect really well, but I'm going to be seeing someone exclusively. And I was like, wow, congratulations. Like, I'm so happy for you guys. But then at the same time, I'm like, why can't it be me? I'm like, what can I say to change your mind? Like, don't pick her, pick me, and like, it's hard to see everyone, like a lot of people always on social media are like anniversaries and like doing things with couples, and like I see people that like have tried to like make moves on me, but like they're just like lost in life, and like it bothers me like when I see them, because I'm like, you weren't even serious about it and you should have told me, and like asked me. Like there was this guy in my class a semester ago, excuse me, and he would like talk to me and be like, yeah, we should like do stuff together, and then it was like he just stopped, and then he started talking to like all these other girls, and I just noticed that he was like talking to like all these girls, and he knew like all these girls all the time, and I'd just be like, oh, like maybe he's that kind of guy where it's like he's not really like is just specifically attracted to you. It's kind of like he's just that type of guy that like is like very flirtatious and that type of thing. And I don't know, it's really like it's hard, and I have to take a step back and like just be in the moment and like take yourself back and like resonate with, I'm in the moment, I'm alive, like here I am in this moment, I'm me. It's 1:24 p.m. March 28th, 2019, and take a deep breath and let it out. I just, I just talk about it because it's hard, and the human journey can be really hard, and that is just where I'm at. And I really appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you so much. And I keep my Barbie with me as kind of like my friend. She's sitting here with me. I sometimes keep my Barbie in my backpack just so I know that I have something comforting with me, and that makes me happy. So if something is stressful, I can just look at her or think of her, and that she's with me, and that it helps me like have more clarity and peace and stuff. So that is just where I'm at. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I will see you in my next video.